Yo, what's up? I don't know who we got watching so far. I try to wait for more people to get in. I've never done one like this before. Doing this on my phone just to make it easier to see what I'm showing. We're gonna go over all of the Fortnite cards, pretty much all the comics, pretty much everything I kind of have in my collection, and just kind of like answer some questions. I know when you're first getting started, you don't know where to start, whether it's Italy, USA, etc. So I'm just kind of gonna go through some of my favorites, what I have, and just kind of how I collect. You can see I've got a lot of stuff set out over here. And we're gonna go through it. So let's see. I think we only have 2 people in here. If you're here, say what's up so I know what's good. All right. All right. So I'm gonna switch this away from my beautiful face if I can figure that out. There we go. So if you guys have any trouble hearing me, please let me know. I'm gonna try to go through some of this stuff here. I'm gonna sit down on the floor. Well, I guess first I can show you guys my little drawer here and how I have this set up. I'm gonna get more of these as my collection gets bigger. Over time, I've bought and sold, done a little bit of trading, but I just want to be kind of transparent with what I got. So this top drawer, I think I'm gonna make it my PC. Like I don't want to sell. So I've talked about this before, and I'm going to start using tag just because I really like the slabs. So anything in tag is something that I don't ever intend to really sell, because I know everyone knows PSA sells for the most. I just like tag. So these are some cards that I'll be sending in to tag that I don't ever intend to sell. Like, you'll know this beauty. Everyone's mad at me for sending this in to tag, but she's going to be going to tag. She has a bottom corner issue in the center, so be interesting to see what grade they get, but I'm just glad to have the card, to be honest. So that's what this drawer is going to be, all tagged, most likely. I do have some other PC cards, but I want to keep this mostly tagged. Like y'all know, Aura is my biggest PC here. Got my 10 there. Rox is another big PC for me. Lynx, Hush, like, you know, I've got them up here too. So I tend to get multiples of the ones I really like. We can go into why that is. Here's some SGC cards. We'll talk about these a little bit. These are some of my favorite cards. So some of these, like, there's stuff like, there's my Gold Trooper. Right now I have them all separated between PSA tag and SGC. And then we're gonna get into some comics and why I like this comic so much. This is just my extra drawer. Nothing too crazy in there. We're gonna go through all my comics. We'll talk a little bit about the art that I got and like why that one's important to me. What's up, Westro? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. So I wanted to make this video for people who are just getting started into collecting. Hopefully y'all can still see me okay. And at the back of my head. We'll start with these binders. So when Fortnite first released, it was Series 1, 2019, and you could get these binders. I have several of these. And they have them for different ones. Here's like the reloaded one. Alright, which is something kind of cool. This was reloaded. This came out just before Series 2. Like, some people may not realize that, but yeah, it was Series 1, then reloaded, then Series 2. So the card comes out in Series 2, but it had a card in reloaded first. That's technically the first card, even though they released the same year. Here's some reloaded packs. We might open some of these. We'll go over some of that stuff. So I guess we'll start with like Series 1. I just want to kind of go over like some of the differences. So let me get actually Gold Trooper would be a good example since we have both. Alright, so the main issue for when you're first getting started is understanding Italy. You see here it says Italian. Hopefully you can see that. Italy, Brazil versus USA. Hopefully in the video, maybe not, so you can see the difference in the shard. Alright, so when you're first getting started collecting, USAs are a lot harder to come by, especially now. There seem to be a lot more rare. Seems to be more Italy, more Brazil out there. Um, Technically, it's kind of hard to find specific Brazil shards, but there's more complete master sets than any other set. So like that brings into question like really is there less Brazil? Because I think I've seen over 20 master sets sell, where I've only seen like 2 or 3 USA ones. And there's just a crap ton of Italy on the market. So when you're first getting started, if you're buying this Italy and think you're getting a deal because the US goes for a 10x, not really right now because US just demands higher prices. So you can tell by the back of the card, it says USA, it says Italy. You can also tell by the shard. The USA one is like there's no, you can't see where like each shard divides. Like this is more of a pattern. And this one's more of a pattern. This one's more like noticeable pattern. Like you can see where it breaks. This one you can't. Also, the shards are a lot thicker. So that's a quick overview of the Series 1. Italy versus USA. Go for USA if you're looking for value. If you're a true collector and you want both, I think that's great. I like Italy Series 1 too, so I collect both. But in the beginning, I bought like so many Italy, and then I just started wanting to get USA, so just keep that in mind. I'll pull out some of these. I'll show off my auras here of SGC. So here you see I have USA, and then again Italy. When Italy went to Series 2, the Italy shards changed a little bit. They're more seamless, but still can tell the difference. The difference in this one, I think, is there's like a border to the shards that you can kind of notice, like a tiny black border almost. Where USA, there's like no border on the shards, and they just look cleaner, in my opinion. I'm more a fan of Italy Series 1 than Italy Series 2. I haven't even looked at Italy Series 3, so. With that said, we can look at some Series 3 cards. Here's Kuno, and I have like a crap ton of Kuno. I'll show all these. In terms of the print run, Series 1 and Series 2 are the most sparse. There's like a lot less. Series 1 and Series 2, Series 3, there's a lot more shards. As you can see, I have like 20 or so Kunos, where I can barely have 1 or 2 USAs, right? For Series 1 and Series 2. Asia shards? I don't know about the Asia shards. As we're going through some of these, I'll throw some other, here's some reloaded stuff. So there's goes Series 1, Series 2, and Series 3. Reloaded is kind of like the sister brand, right? Since it's not a series set, it's just Reloaded. With that said, there's some really cool cards in there that aren't in other sets. For instance, Renegade Raider. Can't get Renegade Raider in any other set unless you're looking at prototypes, which we'll go into a little bit later. Renegade Raider is a fan favorite of the game. You know, y'all can see that, sorry. So this is a 9.5. There's only one PSA 10 out of over 80 submitted. I subbed that 10 and then sold it for 1,000. I think it's been traded for probably valued around 7K. The trade value was something like that. So I'm keeping my 9.5 for my collection. I do have some other Renegade Raiders to send in. You've got the moving cards from Reloaded, which are really cool. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let's see if y'all can see the change in. Oh, it doesn't really look like you can. There you go. So you can see that there's some moving cards. We'll go over some of those. So in Reloaded, you've got glow-in-the-dark cards, you've got moving cards, and you have the hollow cards. The only hollow cards in Reloaded, if I can find them, are the loading screens. So there's 20 loading screens in Reloaded. You can't find these in any of the other sets. There's a whole bunch more of these. So like there wasn't like a true chase in Reloaded. Everything got pretty similar print runs. So you can find a lot of them. The hard thing is finding like a 10, right? Because Reloaded was like messed up pretty bad. There's like lots of edge issues and surface issues. So you've got the moving cards, the base cards, the hollows. And then let me see if I can find a glow in the dark. I think I have one here. Here's one of the glow in the dark cards. So if you go to reload it and you see any of these lines here, you can actually feel it on the card, and that's the case, of course. But these are the glow in the dark ones. And it's too bright out for me to show you. But yeah, they glow in the dark. This is a 9, the highest grade in this one. I'm gonna go for a tag 10 because I like gold super. Alright, put that up. Let's see if there's anything else I want to show for those. So how do you collect Series 1, Series 2, and Series 3? Or how do I collect? Right now, shards is what everyone's chasing because our hobby is so small in terms of what people are actually collecting, that shards are so hard to come by, so people are trying to get those for as cheap as they can. So that's kind of the focus. That's kind of my focus, always has been. But for those people who are buying everything, who have the income to invest and all that kind of stuff and want to collect, and who weren't there when Series 1 first came out, like here's some Skull Troopers, right? And these are base cards, right? These are actually hard to pull. Like, believe it or not, legendary cards and epic cards, purple is epic, gold is legendary. For Series 1, were extremely difficult to pull. About as hard to pull as hollows from any other trading card set. So if you have epic cards and legendaries, I think it's worth holding on in case our hobby does blow up to the point where there's just not enough. So like, this box here, for me, is all epics and legendaries. So these are all legendaries, these are all epics. I've never opened this box in like months, right? So I'm just holding those just to keep. I think these are all peelies. I see the yellow. I do have, where is my binder at? Some of my favorites here. I made this binder a long time ago. I was like, here's all Skull Troopers. These are pretty easy to find, but here's Gold Troopers, another epic. Easy to find for rares. Rares are easy to find. I just like those skins. Easy to find, easy to find. So yeah, it's mostly epics and legendaries that are hard to find. Like Black Knight at one point was going for $600 raw. If you weren't there, yeah, it was a crazy time. So we were all chasing fat packs trying to hit a freaking Black Knight, and I sold a bunch of them for $600 each. So it kind of funded most of my collection. Let's see. I guess I can go over like how rarity works in Fortnite. So if you're coming from, let's say you're coming from Pokemon or anything like that, or Magic Gathering, or let's say sports, for instance, you might think that, okay, if it's legendary, it's going to be the best shard, right? And I don't know if I have any bad ones, but my collection is pretty specific. But let's say like you pull a legendary card, you automatically think it's gonna be great. That's not necessarily true. What Panini did was they took, to figure out what rarity this was, they just took it from the Fortnite item shop. So in the Fortnite item shop, Skull Trooper was epic. Okay, so they decided that. So he was X amount of V-Bucks. I forget what it was. I think legendary was 2,000 V-Bucks at the time. Epic, I think, was 1,500. Right, so anything that's a legendary was expensive in-game. Doesn't mean it's a great card or great skin. There's a lot of great skins, like Bright Bomber, super nostalgic. It's a rare, right? But that doesn't mean that this isn't a great pull, especially in like cracked ice or hollow. As far as I've seen over the years, they all have very, very similar print runs, whether it's legendary, epic, rare, or uncommon, in their hollow or shard form. Now, base is the only time I've seen where like it's harder to pull something, and they actually say it on the wrapper. They'll say like legendary 1 out of X amount of packs, right? But hollow and cracked ice form, we have no other information. All the pop reports look very, very similar. You can go to FortniteCards.com to look at the whole checklist. We have the pictures of every single card up there, so that should be pretty useful. Before we get into more of the cards, here's another collection. I burned my mouth with ramen. I do that too. What's up? So this is another cool collectible for Fortnite that I have that not many people talk about. This is the Game Informer. So this is a very early version of Fortnite before there was even a Fortnite logo. And what's great about the copy that I have here is that it does not have a barcode, because most of these are shipped to people's, not barcode, the shipping label. Most of these are shipped directly to people's houses, and they put the label straight on there. So this is what we do here. If you look through here, you can see the whole story of Fortnite. And it's very early on. So that's one of the cool ones. It's very hard to find these. If you do find them, I mean, you can find lots of them on eBay, but you won't find them without the shipping label. If you do, it's a great find. Actually, the way I found this was I actually went to, this is a trick. I went to Amazon and I bought used, but a lot of Amazon sellers are actual businesses. So if you find someone who sold this in store, that might be a great way to do it. So I looked at Amazon to buy those, if you're interested. I'm gonna go through some of my comics here. So like there's a bunch of ways to collect Fortnite. So I'm just trying to go through everything I can for new collectors. These are some of the first Fortnite covers that ever came out. Not crazy rare, but I'm just showing them some of the first ones. It's one of my favorites, just because of the composition of the cover. Them chasing the llama is really cool. This is the first comic that had a Fortnite story in it. Fantastic Four number 24. There's a bunch of different covers. This isn't cover 1. I think this is like cover, I forget what cover this is. But this is the only one that has Fortnite on the cover. The other ones were more Fantastic Four focused. So I actually have the original cover of the first cover. So I have the original art for that. I'll show that again. I have the original art for this one. This is the first Fortnite cover that has only Fortnite characters on it. Surprisingly, of the like dozens of covers they've done, this is the only cover that only has Fortnite characters. Surprisingly enough. This is I think this is a one per store variant. This was interesting because they use this on another one that isn't Black Widow. It's actually Captain America, I believe. And it's in color. Then they reused it for Black Widow. What's interesting about this one is that Bright Bomber's on here with Captain America, and then 2 years later, Bright Bomber got a Captain America style, which is pretty interesting, kind of like foreshadowing something. And this is Midas's agency behind them. So I like to try to think long term and try to find all the secrets. This was the Batman Day black and white. I think it's 1 out of 100. So the comic book store had to order 100 to get one of these. But they were cheaper comics because it's Batman specials. So that's a cool one to have. One of my favorites, not super rare, but this is Renegade Raiders' first cover appearance. I'm a big Renegade Raider fan. I do not have her in game, but I wish I did. So we got a bunch here. I won't go through all of them. Here's another big one. This is the first appearance of Foundation, first cover appearance, first in-book appearance, and it uses his name on the cover, unlike any of the other Fortnite ones. So this is the Foundation one-shot. And Donald Mustard drew this cover. This is the 1 of 25. I also have the German version. So Virgin comics don't have the title. So I have the German version, and it's just a Virgin. So there's no cover. I mean, there's no title, no trade dress. So that's pretty cool. I think those are only limited to like 1,111, the Virgin ones. Let's see what else we got here. This is a cool one. Check out our interview with A.K. Bog. He went over the crazy stuff that has to do with this one. I like it because it's black and white sketch, and you have like the names of the characters on the side. I thought it was a cool, like little writer's note, like he's trying to remember who is who. So I thought that was pretty cool. But this one was like 1 of 150. A.K. Bog went into why he thinks it's more rare than that. You can check out that video on our YouTube channel. Let's see this again. Here's another favorite of mine. I'm a big Suki fan. Like I have the, let me see if I have her card. So like I have her card there. So unlike other people who collect, like a lot of people collect based on value and stuff like that, I collect like what means a lot to me. So I'm happy. Like, I don't chase the Black Knight. Like, it goes like 30 to 50K. I don't chase him. Um, I just like to collect the skins that I like. Suki's one I used a lot. I have the Virgin cover and the trade dress one. And these were limited 3,000 each of both. So, this is her first cover appearance. One of my favorites. So, there's lots of different ways to collect. Like, I honestly collect just for fun. I just love Fortnite, so that's why I collect. A lot of people are in for the money. It just so happens that I like a lot of the sweaty skins, which are the most popular in game, and I think those are going to go up the most in value. So like before, I've told people like I think Aura would be a big card because it's one of the most used skins in game. So that's kind of like how I think about it. I've seen dozens of people who are getting into Fortnite cards or comics just because they're looking for some way to remember or to collect their favorite character in Fortnite. So, like, whether it's Bullseye, or there's a lot of things you can't get in, like, a Funko Pop, right? They don't have one for each Funko Pop. There's no way for people to collect them, so they turn to the cards. Let's see if I have a bunch of comics. I don't know if you guys want to see. I'll show you guys, like how many comics I have. So these are all Fantastic 24. It's crazy because I went kind of crazy. All right, so here's one with Jonesy's first cover appearance. So I went crazy on him. I have a bunch of these. These seemed really hard to find, surprisingly. So like I was just buying as much as I could at one point. So if you can't find these on eBay, it's probably because like I have all of them. I'm not a huge Peely fan, but this is Peely's first cover appearance. I know people are big fans of Peely, and it was a cool cover. So that was and I can show you guys. I have the graded version here too. So there's just so many different ways to freaking collect Fortnite, and I'll just keep showing you guys some of the comics that I have. Like this is literally the first Fortnite comic story. It's an inner issue, so the whole comic's not about Fortnite, but there's an issue. It's like about 4 or 5 pages, and like that's the art I have up there. So this is gonna be a big one in my opinion. Super nostalgic. This is what like a whole season was based on when Marvel came. They did the whole comic during the season. That's inside of here. All right, let's see. Here's another big comic. This came down in price. At one point, it was close to 2K per 9.8. It's come down a lot in price. I bought the first one that was graded on eBay, I think for 300, and then it got listed again. Another one got listed for 400. Had it in my cart, made an offer for 350. He said no, so I didn't buy it because I already had one. And then it shot up to like 1,800 in like 2 weeks. Now it's back down. You probably get one for like 500 to 700, 9.8 probably. But it's just a really cool comic to have. Super rare. Whoops, super rare. You have to, the comic book shop had to order 500 of the Batman Day Special to get one. And there are some 9.9s out there. I don't know if there's a 10, but there's some 9.9s. I think the 9.9 sold for like 10K at one point. So that's a really great one. Again, here's the Donald Mustard Foundation first appearance. I think if Foundation and the Seven does anything remotely close to like their own movie, their own storyline, if it keeps going without Donald Mustard, I think this will be a big comic just with his first appearance. And then here's my holy grail of comics. It's this comic here, but it's super rare edition, signed by the writer. These black and whites were supposed to hit the market. They never did. They got sent to the people who worked on the comic. So Christopher Gage, the writer, got his copies. Snyder, I think, got his. Hickson got his. I forget whichever ones we saw that got them. So I think there's anywhere from like 50-ish to 100 that exists, maybe. Who knows if there's a warehouse of these? No idea. But as far as we know, only the contributors got them. So this is one of my prized possessions. I bought this one for 500, and then he sent it in to get graded with his auto. I don't really intend to ever sell it, but I mean, if it goes for crazy prices, which it really could, that I could end up selling it, but I'm glad to have it for right now. Let's see if there's... So what I've been doing today is while my computer's updating, I started messing with my cards, and I was going through all my Reloaded, and I can show you guys like how much freaking... So these are all the hollows from Reloaded. So I told you they're not like crazy rare. Like hollow, there's only 20 different hollows in the set. But because of that, and they're like, because of that, and they per pack they do like some like 1 or 2 hollows, 4 or 5 base, and maybe 1 or 2 of the glow in the darks. And same thing with the moving cards. Problem is like there's like over 200 base cards and only 20 hollows. So because of that, there's a bunch more hollows than there are of the base. So like this card, for instance, will have a whole much more than Meowscles. That's just how it turned out, which is fine because finding really good copies is really hard. And the hollows are just really, really cool. So either it's overprinted or no one's paying attention to it and all these can go up in price someday. Who knows? I just like them. So like I have my montage there. I may try to go for a 10 set. I'm not sure. We will see. So right now I was going through making sure all these head sleeves. I was going through looking for copies that are clean. Like this one's pretty decent for Meowscles. I'm not a Meowscles fan, but I know how popular he is. So this is what will happen is like you'll get a Renegade Raider. You'll check the corners. And then you turn it over and bam. That's what happens with Reloaded. The other issue is that if you look at the corners, for most of these, let's see if it'll show you. It might not be clear enough. But they'll round out a little bit. And these are supposed to be sharp. So if your corners are round and not sharp, it's literally not a 10. So it's kind of hard to see with some of these, but they round out a lot. So the hardest things is to get one that has no damage and has super sharp corners. The sharp corners is probably the hardest part to find. Let me look at this Renegade Raider. Like, yeah, this one actually has pretty decently sharp corners. But then again, it gets freaking ripped on the back. So you can see, like, how sharp that corner is. It's just bad luck for that one. I do have some I'm going to send in. Like, this is my send-in drawer up here. So, like, I'll show you guys. Like, this one looks decent. But you see that little bit of white there? I don't know if that's going to tin or not. Probably not. That little bit of white is what's going to throw this card. And then I have this one. Corner has a little bit of white. Like I said, it's kind of hard to see. So those are possibilities. So we'll see. Out of 80 cards so far. I'll show you all some of the other ones. I pulled a lot out so you're not going to see everything. Do you want to go over these? These are DKV comic cards. So for instance, this is 0.1. This isn't the cover A, this is cover B, I think. But this is the most popular cover. And then they made it into a card. And these were made in Peru. It was actually a DC comic card set. But there's 8 Fortnite cover cards. Oh, there's the back. Some of my favorites that I collect. Let's see if I can get some of the other ones. This is the page, the first appearance of Renegade Raider in the top corner right here. Let me see if I can show you right here. This was her first appearance page. So having that as a card is pretty cool. This is that one of 150 comic covers. It's just such a cool cover and it's such a cool card. Like I said, this is how I collect. I'm not saying you guys have to collect this way. You can look at the prices and go off of eBay and do it that way. I just like to collect what I like. These are the Koro cards that we first found thanks to a subscriber, JT. He put us onto these, and I went crazy looking for these. The backs are so cool. I just like the little illustration, almost like comic-like. So here's... And these weren't crazy rare either in Japan. In the US they were until we started talking about them. Because these were exclusive to Japan, I believe. But then we started ordering them from overseas, so there should be a lot on the market now. Here's a hunting rifle. See, you can tell the Italy. You can almost see how it squares. That's the easiest way to tell. And like the jagged shards. I used to have a PSA 10 of this, but I sold it. A lot of stuff I sell and then I want it back. So I'm in like a constant like buy and sell to get the skins that I like. This is from a promo set. Promo set's trash. I just really like blue and I like this skin. I actually bought this skin in-game after I got the card just because I liked it. Hush is one of my favorites. Undervalued, in my opinion. I'll start going through some of the other stuff here. Let's see. I guess let me talk about the prototypes. Everyone is interested in prototypes these days. If you're just now starting out, though, this may put your head through a bender. So you can see the logo is transparent in the bottom versus any other Fortnite card. It has black text. If it has the transparent logo, it's a prototype, which means it wasn't supposed to be released. These were created, I guess, to show Epic Games. So Panini printed them, sent them, and then afterwards they made the change for the logo. So these weren't supposed to hit the market, but they did. There's some in Italy, and there's also some in USA. Let's see. What else we got here? Another way to collect is the actual art that made it into the Fortnite comics. Hopefully y'all can see this. You can see fish sticks here. I got this page because it has Renegade Raider right there. It was just a cool action shot. So those are the ones I don't have hanging, those 3. And then I have 3 hanging. So I have about 6 pieces of original art right now. Nothing too crazy. Like, I'm not one of the biggest collectors out there. There's some people who have crazy collections. I've touched just about, like I've had PSA 10 Dart Bomber, PSA 10 Skull Ranger Cacti. I've had a lot of cool stuff. I had a Black Knight Hollow. It's just I've traded and sold over the years. This is one of the things I'm slowly working on. Very slowly. These go for very expensive, like $100 to $300 a pin. This is my favorite one. It spins. This is when the island flipped over. So I don't have too many of these yet, but I'm working on it. This is my binder itself is a collection. This has autos from different Fortnite players. So you have Booga, Savage, Somerset, Epic, Kanata, Scented. So replays. I'm not a big streamer watcher, but when I go to the events, I do get them signed. So that's just something cool that I do for my PC. Let's see. Is there anything else you guys want to see? I'm trying to think. Am I missing anything? I went over my comics. I went over the Reloaded. I think I covered almost all of it if I could. My crazy Kunos. Overshield. If you guys haven't tried out Overshield, or if you have, please let me know what you think. I can go over that real quick. More of like a shameless plug. You can't see it on here, but she's on here so that she doesn't get scratches. That way I don't have to have this crappy plastic on there. I haven't used it for all of them just because I have so many cards, but my biggest cards I put them on there. I had them on my tags. Tags you can see a little bit right here because it was made mostly for PSA. Stuff right here you can't really see it. So I'll probably get some made for tag and for SGC. So I have them on my SGC cards too, but you can kind of tell where they stop. So when I get them made, they're going to be around the edges. But for right now, they fit, and they work best for PSA. Is there anything else I want to show? Here's a promo set. Each series got their own promo set. They're not as rare. So at one point, the Series 1 promo set was going for 10 to 11K. It's actually not that rare compared to like a regular Series 1 shard. I mean, they're going to be limited compared to other trading cards, but, you know, Series 1 shards are much more harder to find than the promo sets. Let me see what Bradley says here. You've always been interested in comic grades. What are the common things to look for that will prevent a good grade? So for the comics, for instance, like this got 9.6. The way they grade is very different, and I'm not a professional grader. I assume this one got bad because like you can see like this black and white kind of. This one has a little bit of black dust on it. There you go. You can see that. The biggest thing to look for are like spine ticks from like opening and closing the comic. And I'm not a professional grader by any means, but that's what you want to look for. They don't grade too, like the corners can be dinged up. I don't know if you can see this. Like you see, let me pull out a regular comic. So like this one looks pretty clean. You know which ones are hard? It's these ones. So let's see if we can see this here. You see that ding on the corner there? It's my understanding that doesn't actually affect it too much. Let's see, it's easier to see up here, I think. So it's based on manufacturing. So if it comes like as it was manufactured, they don't count the grade against it. So if it was manufactured and it was a manufacturer defect, that doesn't hurt the grade apparently. Versus cards, like it's a lot harder, right? So you can get 9.8s pretty easily on modern comics, as long as it hasn't been like heavily read and stuff like that, or like scratched or broken. Anything that's done by the reader is gonna hurt the comic. That goes with like storing it and stuff like that. So you want to bag and board it. That protects the comic. For Fortnite comics, besides the Marvel ones, they came in bags. So if you keep them in the bags, I wonder if I have any. If you keep them in the bags, you can get some like lines on the back of the comic. Yeah, these have bags. These are the bags here. I think, yeah. So here's a comic here. So like I have so many that I haven't taken them out of the bags yet, but they come in bags. And if you leave them in the bag, this line here will actually eventually put an indent in the comic, and that'll affect the grade. So you should take them out of the bags. The only thing with Fortnite comics is they came with codes. So how's the market gonna react? Like they want them sealed so they know the code was never used? I don't know. No idea how they're gonna take that. Yeah, I mean, so there's not too much comics out there right now. I'd be interested to know if you see any at the, because these came out a while ago now. So I doubt there'll be any at the Comic-Con. But if you do go, I would look for the authors of, for this one. So if you look for Foundation, so if you look for these authors or artists, whoever worked on this comic, if they're at the Comic-Con, sometimes they're selling the comics that they're given. So you might be able to find one of these black and whites, and these are super rare. So if you do go to the Comic-Con, I would look for that. That's a good question. I don't think so. But I wouldn't know, to be honest. I wouldn't know. That'd be interesting, Brandon. I'm not sure. Shout you out, Kitty. Shout out to Kitty. I don't know what I'm shouting out, though. Yeah, I know I just showed my debit card. This debit card is actually not mine. Somebody else's, but I'll make sure that one's deleted. We don't use it. It's just been on my shelf for years. Oh, happy birthday, Kitty. So I was just trying to read the comments. The way I have it set up is, I mean, the comments. The way I have it set up right now, it's kind of hard to read all y'all's comments. So right now, I'm realizing I have a crap ton of reloaded stuff. And when you get so many cards, sometimes you forget to take care of them. But, like, eventually, they can be worth money. So, like, today I was just trying to go through some of my stuff and get those fixed up. I'll show you guys, like, how much I actually have here for reloading. So, there's a lot of cards in Reloaded that aren't in other sets. Like, these aren't even in sleeves, but they look pretty crisp. And, like, so really, I should be going through and seeing which ones have sharp corners, especially if it's a skin that wasn't used. I haven't done that at all, so I'm kind of slacking on there. I do have, where's my special cards here? Running out of room over here on this floor. I have all these too. Like, I don't even know everything I have. Like, here's a Booga card not in a sleeve. Black Ash has this signed by Booga, which is pretty cool. So, like, at one point, I was collecting all the glow-in-the-darks and packaging them all up. But once you go through Reloaded, you can actually get a crap ton. And I've bought, like, lots of boxes. That's why I have all these. So I just got lazy. But, like, if you look at all these, like, these are all drifts. Moving drifts, which are pretty cool. The whole point of, like, Fortnite cards is that, like, if you have a favorite skin, it's going to be hard to find anything that's collectible besides the cards and the comics. So eventually, that's going to pull people in. So, I mean, that's pretty much everything I had to share. There's some other questions. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff. Like, I got more stuff over here. I think I have some stuff back there. I got stuff in my closet, but this is most of my stuff for right now. Oh, I do have something that Black Ash gave me. This is kind of cool, signed by Booga. I forget what the code on the back says, but I probably just gave something away. This is made out of 100. So I'll just keep this for shits and giggles. I appreciate you, Warfighter. Yeah, I'll make sure it's canceled. I mean, I didn't even know it was up there. Or I'll just delete the video, you know. Maybe I'll cut it out. Let me see. I do have some. Here's some graded cards over here. So, Ghoul Trooper base cards. I bought these super cheap, but I think these are going to be hard to find in the future. Like I said, epic cards are pretty difficult. Same with Series 1 Hollows, which each series it got easier and easier. But, yeah, they're hard. They're very, very hard. There's error cards that we can talk about. Oh, here's the stickers. If you guys are into stickers, I don't collect much stickers, but I bought these from the Facebook group. I don't really collect the stickers, so I just have a little bit here. Mostly into cards and comics myself. Here's some more Reloaded. I just have a crap ton of Reloaded, to be honest, right now. So, one of the things I noticed with Reloaded is there's an error Black Knight. So those people who are interested in Black Knight, I've talked about this before, but trying to go through everything. Here's the error. It's a little black dot. It's not on any of the other cards. I know this is an error because I've seen about 10 of them total. Maybe 10, maybe 5 to 10. I actually have 2. See if I can find the other one. Don't know how they got mixed up. Well, I have another one here somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. Like I said, I had too many cards. That's why I'm trying to get organized. But yeah, that's something to play on. I know there's a 9.5 version of this with the dot somewhere. So if you're interested in error cards, there's that. There are cases, I'll show this on the channel, of Reloaded, or not Reloaded, Reloaded, yeah, I guess, is it only Reloaded? I've seen some where they get different cards on the back than the front. I'm trying to remember if it's in Series 1 as well, but I know it's in Reloaded, like this is one of the examples. So I think I've seen one where you can get Ghoul Trooper on the front and Skull Trooper on the back or something like that, which is pretty cool. So if you're into error cards, here's more pins. I have a bunch of other crazy collectible stuff in my boxes over there, but I don't feel like getting them out. Here's the Fantastic Four #1. You see the Nexus 4 at the top. And that's what I have up there. So, which employee pins do I have? Let me go back and look. Like, I was trying to get a lot more, but they're so... They want so much money for them. One guy, I wanted to buy all of them, and he gave me like a $10 discount if I bought all of them. So right now, I was able to get this one for like 50 bucks. That one for like 50 bucks. That one for like almost 100. And then this one, I finally got, I think around 100. This was the one I wanted the most. Eventually, I at least went every season 1. But it was just such a cool pen. I really wanted this one. So the idea is to fill this whole binder up. Right? So I started putting them in order. Like this is season 7, chapter 2. So this should be all of chapter 1 for the first page. And then I'm going to do chapter 2 and then chapter 3. But this is such a long game that I'm not really focused on that. They're just so expensive right now. So I don't have too many yet. Because I don't plan to sell those, so it's like it's hard to justify the price right now. Put this back up here. Making a mess over here. I guess since you guys are in here, I'll go ahead and open up these to show you what it's like to open up a pack. Maybe I get some more room here so I can sit down. Problem with collecting cards is you end up having so much you don't know what to do with it. Okay. You said how much for the signed Booga card, Warfighter? I haven't really thought about it. To be honest, it wasn't really... I only really sell when I need cash for something. And then I sell it pretty cheap. So I'm not a huge... I'm not always looking to sell. Right now, I'm looking to buy with how the market is, you know? Just because right now it's affordable and who knows how long it's going to be affordable. So in Reloaded, I'm looking for cards that aren't in any other sets, or skins that aren't in the other sets. Particularly ones that are popular. Like none of those I care too much about. Like, I get so many Reloaded cards that sometimes it's just they just get forgotten about. Like Midas is actually this is actually his first card. But he came out in Series 3 and he has a cracked ice version, so are people gonna want the base? I'm not sure. But with Panini no longer doing cards, Renegade Raider is in any of the sets. So you got a moving card. My girl Hush. So I always look, like, if it's one of my favorite skins, I'm gonna want it too, but like this one, rounded corners. So I don't even keep it really, I just kind of throw it in a pile. Let's see what we got here. Oh, same moving card. We got a cool hollow. But again, like this one has rounded corners, so will it 10? I guess it's up to the grading gods, to be honest. Richard's favorite card. Let's see if I can pull up another hollow. And again, like it has rounded corners. But no whitening, so maybe I'll keep it to the side just since it does have whitening. The other ones I haven't looked at, like this is the soccer skin. Might be a cool card to have. They haven't really done that right in the other series yet, so she was super sweaty at one point. That's another one that we don't really talk about. Like we talk about Renegade Raider, but we don't talk about the soccer skins. Glow in the dark. Oh, we got a Jonesy. So this is the only pure Jonesy card. So there's Bunker Jonesy, but this is Recruit Jonesy. And he will not 10. You can already tell because of the back, there's like a crease in it. So he's another one that I just kind of collect for speculations. But who doesn't like Jonesy? He's a very likable character. Let's see, I think I have one more pack left here. I will be going on to Richard's podcast coming Tuesday, I believe, next Tuesday. And I'll probably pick some of my favorite cards to show from my collection. I know I went through some of them here. But I'll pick out like my top 20 or something, collectibles, and I'll show those. And then I can like talk about the weapons and what I think about those. I think I can find it here. But one of the things I want the most is a USA shard. Right now I have the Italy, which I'm happy with, but I would really like a USA one. So, I mean, that's it for me. That's pretty much everything I wanted to show here. If you guys haven't checked out our channel, please check out our videos. We go live every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern. We try to update content as much as possible. Check out FortniteCards.com for any Fortnite collectible needs. That's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Once I figure out how to end this. Here we go. Bye, guys.